Greetings, friends. Today, it's time to delete this Ultramarines list from my Games Workshop app and make a new list of the Emperor's finest, none other than the 9th Legion, the Blood Angels. We're going to be playing, or we're going to start making a new tournament list, and I think the detachment that is doing the best at the moment is indeed Angelic Inheritors. Let's call this the Golden Host, because there is going to be some gold in this list. So, you know what? Everyone always has really fun names for their armies, and I never have anything fun. So let me think for a minute on this. Alright, I've got it. Meta Slayers Anonymous. A support group for people that pretend they're just casual, but actually really want to do well in the meta. So, Meta Slayers Anonymous. I've taken some notes on a post-it note. So here we will start with the things that I have deemed the most important for Angelic Inheritors, and that is Vindicator tanks. I'm off Vindicator tanks, but they are carrying Space Marines. I didn't know this about the Games Workshop app, in that when you add a unit and you say it's got a Hunter Killer Missile and a Stormbolter, you can then go back and you can duplicate the unit. Aha, so you don't have to add the same war gear for 2 units. Handy, the things you know. I'm also going Plasma Inceptors. Obviously, searching Plasma isn't going to work. We're going to take Inceptors, we're going to be going 6. And it's going to be all Plasma. Plasma. Let's get rid of the bolters. I do like how they have made it that it updates this a little bit better when you're changing the war gear now. So get rid of the salt bolters. 6 Plasma Eradicators. Apparently I've done something wrong. Oh yeah, we need a warlord. Okay. What else did I put down here? Let's get a warlord in. It's going to be a captain. I think we're going to take 2. I think they're going to both be of the jump variety. And this is, again, add the captain. Obviously, we want to change his war gear, get rid of the heavy bolt pistol, get rid of the chainsword. I like to take them with a plasma pistol. Some people like Hand Flamer. And again, in Angelic Inheritors, some people do like the relic weapon. And the reason the relic weapon is good is because you get an extra attack. But I like going for the strength 8. The relic weapon would be strength 5, which goes to strength 6 when the captain is charging because the +1. But I think strength 7 is an important breakpoint, in my opinion. If you didn't watch my last video about building Angelic Inheritors, then I think that's an important breakpoint. So I am going to duplicate that and make one of these guys the warlord. Unfortunately, Dante isn't going to be fitting into this list. What is going to be fitting into this list is some Sanguinary Guard. And we're going to take 2 squads. Let's add 1 squad, and then we'll duplicate it. God, I've been building lists apparently the wrong way in this app for forever. So we lose 1 Angelic Bolt Gun, we get 1 Infernal Pistol, and we get 1 Banner, and then we duplicate that. And then one of these squads is going to become a 6. Because I want a captain +6 in reserve. So it could be the warlord, it doesn't really matter. One of the captains +6 Sanguinary Guard in reserve. They're going to be doing jumpy rapid ingress things, and I think that's going to be pretty useful. Now, a lot of people that run Angelic Inheritors go for a battle line unit. I'm going to do battle line. I'm going to do sticky objectives. It's not something I often take, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to check the war gear on the intercessors because I don't often use them. The sergeant is going to lose his bolt rifle and his bolt pistol. He's going to replace that with a power weapon. No. Power fist. You could do Thunderhammer, I guess. I think you can also take a grenade launcher. And I think probably we actually just want to keep the bolt rifle. Can I do that? The sergeant's war gear is insufficient. The sergeant's bolt rifle can be replaced. The sergeant's close combat weapon can be replaced. So he gets to keep his bolt pistol as well. So he's got a bolt pistol and his bolt rifle and a power fist. I mean, we could take a plasma pistol. I'm fine. Let's just hang on to the bolt rifle. So we got 5 bolt rifles. We got 1 grenade launcher, which we can take for free. I always kind of forget about the grenade launcher, but I mean, I guess it's 1 shot with a crack. And this is where things get interesting. I want to have CP regeneration in this list. I've seen how strong it is in Ultramarines. We've seen how strong it is in Dark Angels. Blood Angels apparently have no way of doing that unless we add an ally. And the ally is going to lead our intercessors. And it's going to be Inquisitor Cotiers. He's locked. Oh, that's so stupid. So he's locked there because I didn't buy Codex Imperial Agents, but I can't just go to his war gear options and see what he has. Oh, but you can't see the weapon profiles. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, his nemesis, Daemon Thunderhammer. So Inquisitor Cotiers is 2-up save, 4 wounds. He's got 4-up invuln save. His ranged weapon is a Psychic Blast, D6, Strength 3, 3 -1, 1, Anti-Demon 4+, Anti-Infantry 5+, Devastating Wounds. So a few dev wounds potentially from his Psychic Blast. His melee is a Psychic 3 damage, Thunderhammer. Only 3 attacks, but 9 -3, 3, so nice AP on it. 3 damage is not something to be sighed at. Each time your opponent gains a CP as a result of an ability. So anytime your opponent has like a Gretchen on the board giving them a CP, 83% of the time on a 2-up you get the CP as well. Models in this unit have a 6-up invulnerable save, so I guess my intercessors will have a 6-up invulnerable save. They also have a 4-up invulnerable save against psychic attacks and from demons. He can embark a transport, but he does have one other interesting ability, which is in your command phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches of the bearer, and to the start of the next command phase, that unit cannot get cover. So the idea is that his little eagle thing flies over, removes cover. And he is going to be costing me 95 points. That is right. I think he's potentially 75 if you play him in an Imperial Agents list, but no one's playing him. So my idea behind him is remove cover from the Vindicator targets. That's pretty cool. I mean, his dev wounds is fine. His Thunderhammer is fine. His invulnerable save and anti-demon stuff is fine. But 2-up, every time my opponent gets a CP, I'm getting one as well. I feel like that's probably the only option, or the best option Blood Angels have, or the most reliable option that we have to get some more CP. So I've put in a good reliable option to get some CP. We've got some sticky objectives. We've got 2 captains, both of which can reduce CP cost. They also make the Sanguinary Guard strength 7 on the charge, which is a meaningful breakpoint. The captains let them units they're attached to reroll hits and wounds of 1, which helps. We've got the 2 Vindicator tanks, which can sustain. We've got our Inceptors, which can meteoric descent within 6. And take my Oath a moment and use their twin-linked nonsense to do a lot of damage. So we're at 1285 points. Now this is where things become a little bit interesting and a little bit non-meta. Because I think at this point, I guess up until the point where we just added Cotiers, it was probably pretty standard. Now we're going on a tangent, and this is the tangent that I have decided that is worth a shot and is something that I'm going to try. Whether or not it is good, I don't know, but we're going to start iterating, right? Like the next 3 or 4, I haven't booked my next GT. It's probably going to be January. I came back from the last GT and my wife was like, oh my goodness, the kids this weekend, I need a break. Can I go out? And I was like, yes, you can go out. So I'm still at a point where like 2 or 3 tournaments, well, 3 tournaments, January, May, April, and then back to January. 3 tournaments a year, 3 times I'm away for the whole weekend is about as much as I can get away with at the moment. So I've got 3 or 4 months to iterate on this. So this is version 1. So this is going to get a little bit wacky now. but it's something that I want to do, and I think it synergizes, so let's go for it. So my thought with this Inheritors list is that I want to be able to put some durable stuff, park them on objectives, score points. The Intercessors are doing sticky. The Vindicators will be reasonably far back, so they can deal with any threat coming in on my backline. So could the Plasma Inceptors. So could arguably one of the squads of Sanguinary Guard. So I think we're adding a couple of dedicated transports, and they are 2 Impulsors. Do you know what? I should have just added 1 and then duplicate it. Let's do that. So, Impulsor, we're gonna go Shield Dome, because I think Shield Dome is honestly what makes these things good. We take the extra stubber, sure. Shield Dome. I saw someone do a list similar to this with 2 Ball Predators, which is not too bad, but double Impulsor. Now, normally, inside the Impulsors, previously when I've done Inheritors, I've done Company Heroes, and I've done Blade Guard. Now, I really don't like the Blade Guard in Inheritors, because Strength 5, I think, is a bad breakpoint. The Company Heroes are not too bad. You take them for durability, you don't necessarily take them for killing. And they can do okay. And they can be attached to like a Finest Hour Captain, and that can make them reasonably useful. I've not ruled that out. But for now, we're going right out of left field with Hellblasters. Both units. Sorry, both Impulsors are going to have 5 Hellblasters. And my intent is to overcharge them every single turn when they fire. Because having played a bunch of Hellblasters recently in my Ultramarines list, I found that I felt like they were actually pretty fun. So, everyone's got the Plasmas. So it basically gives, so I'm just going to overcharge them when they're Impulsor. So my Impulsors are going to rock forward onto the objective, will overcharge everything inside. In the weird situation that I roll enough hazardous wounds to blow up the Impulsor, the guys can actually spill out and they can shoot again because they're a different unit when they've come out. So there is a weird situation where if the hazardous, because when you take the hazardous, when they shoot overcharge inside the Impulsor, the mortal wounds go in the vehicle. So there's a really weird situation where in some point, I maybe blow up my own vehicle, which lets all my Hellblasters shoot again. Now, Hellblasters are probably going to be better if they can just reroll hits and wounds of 1 all the time, right? And there's 2 units, or there's 2 things that could do that. Let me duplicate these 5, because we definitely want to have 2 squads of Hellblasters, 1 for each Impulsor. And I think what we're going to do with that is Apothecaries, right? Do you know what I'm just thinking here? Can the Sanguinary Priest go with Hellblasters? But Apothecaries will let me bring them back to life. So we're going to do double Apothecary. I don't think there's any War Gear options for an Apothecary. He just bolt pistol. But he can bring, his special ability is he's going to be bringing 1 destroyed model back to life each turn. And when the unit's bodyguard is destroyed on a 2-up, I'm going to gain CP as well. So potentially another way to generate CP, another 2 ways to generate CP. So assuming I lose my units of Hellblasters, that's 2 extra CP. The captains can reduce the CP cost per turn. Cotias can bring me extra CP every time my opponents get CP. So I feel like I'm probably going to be able to cap my CP. I'm probably going to be able to do sticky. I'm probably going to be able to roll both Impulsors onto objectives in the early game and just be like, these Impulsors are sitting on the objectives. If you kill the Impulsors, my Hellblasters will spill out and hold the objectives. Obviously, the other big advantage is by playing Angelic Inheritors, one of the main things, or the main detachment rules that you get to pick in Angelic Inheritors is Legacy of the Angel. And for the avoidance of doubt, we'll pick Sanguinary Grace. The unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge which it fell back. And we'll pick Carmine Wrath. Reroll hits and wounds of 1. So even if the opponent does charge the Hellblasters, they will just fall back. They'll shoot. We'll be able to resurrect a guy. And we'll get to keep going, right? So, at this point, I feel like I need some scouts, right? Like, scouts are always useful. They always score points. There's an argument as well for jump intercessors, right? Because, like, the one thing that scouts do is they have to come in 6 inches of the board, whereas jump intercessors just come in wherever you damn need them to score points. So I was actually thinking, although I don't really rate chainswords in Angelic Inheritors, I was thinking a unit of jump intercessors as potentially a scoring unit that sits in reserve in the early game to definitely score points, to come in where I need them to be. So it would be like the unit of Sangre Guard, the unit of jump intercessors in reserve. So now things get interesting, because when I made the other video, and when we look at like Jack's third place LVO, he had like 900 points of shooting. Well, 2 Vindicator tanks, 6 Inceptors, and 10 Hellblasters is quite a lot of shooting. It's 220 plus 370 is 590, so it's like 830 points in shooting. You could also argue Cotiez is bringing me the ability to remove cover. So it's 830 points of shooting, high AP shooting, right? Inceptors have AP3, Hellblasters have AP3, Vindicators have AP3, and I have remove cover. So if you include him in that, then you're probably actually saying that I have the equivalent of 900 plus points in shooting. So then I think the weakness at this point would be scoring. But the Hellblasters are kind of designed to score with the Impulsors. And how many unique units do we have, right? Like, we've got 2 Apothecaries with Hellblasters, that's 2. We've got 2 Captains with Sangre Guard, that's 4. We've got the Intercessors, that's 5. We've got the 2 Impulsors, that's 7. We have the Jump Marines, that's 8. We have the Inceptors, that's 9. The 2 Vindicator tanks, that's 11. So we're low on activations. So at this point, I would be like, probably want to add another character that could do actions. Like I said, it could be a Tech Marine, and then a unit of Scouts. But I think this is going to leave us in a weird place in terms of points, right? Like, Scouts are going to take us to 1925 points. And the other thing I did think about was like a Calidus Assassin, just as a scoring piece, a pure scoring piece. I mean, you could argue maybe just get rid of the jump intercessors. Have the Calidus Assassin as the pure scoring piece, right? Because the Calidus Assassin comes up and goes down every turn. You can add an Assassin and an Imperial Agent, and we would have both. But it is just a one singular model with toughness 4. I guess the advantage of the Calidus Assassin is she is 12-inch lone operative. So there is an advantage with that. I think the problem I'm feeling with this list is probably lack of melee killing. 6 Sangre Guard with the Captain is probably good. They're probably going to want my Focus Fury. 3 Sangre Guard with the Captain is okay. Do I need one more melee killing unit? Bear in mind, I don't like Blade Guard in this detachment. I really don't like Outriders in this detachment. I don't like I don't like anything that's going to be strength 5 or less. So my only option would be a Death Company squad, which we don't commonly see. Or Terminators, which again we don't commonly see. So I think my option at this point would probably be 1 squad of Hellblasters would need to remove their ability to have the Apothecary. So that's fine. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I think what that would do, it would let me keep the Jump Intercessors, it would let me keep the Scouts. I mean, in the War Gear of the Scouts, we should totally remove a couple of bolt guns and add a sniper rifle and a missile launcher for the odd time that they might actually do something. But I think the interesting thing to add, and the thing I think I'd forgotten about when I was building this, was I think I'm going to play Mech. Because I think he's much better in Angelic Inheritors than he is in Liberator. Toughness 5, 6 wounds, 5 up Invan. He's another lone operative. His smite, I guess, which gives me 5 minus 2 d3, sustain 3. I'd be rerolling 1s. His plasma still, I guess you can shoot at the same time. His melee, lethals, strength 9, minus 3, potential d3. We're talking about Blood Angels having a lot of problems against -1 damage enemies. Mephiston's weapon barely does more than 1 damage, but at least -1 damage, it's potentially slightly better. Like, sometimes it will do 2. Excuse me. And what that brings me to is 4 characters there. The intercessors attached to Cotias, 5. The 2 impulsors, 7. The jump intercessors, 8. 1 unit hellblasters unattached is 9. And scepters makes 10. Scouts make 11. Vindicators make 13. So we are slightly low in terms of raw number of models that can activate, but what we do have is quite a lot of stuff in there that will score. So this is a really interesting list in that, like, Vindicators can do over 3 damage, Cotias can do over 3 damage, the Insectors can do over 3 damage, the Hellblasters are quirky, and I'm sort of starting to love them, and they are strength 8. Half of them are going to get to reroll 1s to hit and wound. The Impulsors are going to score and do stuff. We're going to have sticky objectives. We're going to have Mephiston running around. He can also do over 3 damage. The Apothecary is a bit of a weird one. He does have an AP4 pistol, if you're within 3 inches. So occasionally he can do something. But yeah, basically, this is not... It's most certainly not a meta Angelic Inheritors list. Is it something I am excited to play? And is it something wildly different from what I have been playing? Yes. Is it something I would have ever played probably before I left the faction and played Ultramarines for a month or so? I think the answer is no. Because playing 10 games with Hellblasters for Ultramarines was a huge eye-opener. I kind of somewhat have fallen in love with Hellblasters. And even the thing about it in this detachment, even if they did manage to get, let's say, the unled unit into combat, you'd have a stratagem that you can pay on 1 CP, which makes them a character unit, which then gives them the ability to fall back and shoot. So what this list does is it lets me roll onto 2 objectives in the early game with 2 impulsors. And, you know, like 2 no man's land objectives. Mephiston's maybe going to roll onto the other one, so I'm on all the objectives in the middle. I've got 6 Sanguinary Guard in reserve with a captain to rapid ingress for free and go wherever I need to go. We've got the Insectors to bring down and do damage in the backfield with Oath of Moment. We've got the Vindicator tanks to do damage with Oath of Moment, potentially, both of which could take sustained. We've got Scouts, and we've got unit of jump intercessors that are probably in reserve as well, with the intention of being a scoring unit, like they're going to come down somewhere awkward and do an action or sabotage or something like that. So we have good presence on the board. We can roll onto every objective. We can remove cover as well. So it's totally not meta, but in the spirit of doing something completely different and having fun, this is Meta Slayer Anonymous. Guys, I hope you enjoyed something or learned something for the video. I like to make my own lists. That's something that I do. I don't like to copy other people. I know that I could probably do better if it just copied the top lists. But I think there's something fun in playing what you like. And I would actually say this seems like a low number of characters for Angelic Inheritors. Like, I'm not going to have huge, massive value out of the reroll 1s to hit and wound. Or the fallback advance and charge, which you could arguably get more of if you put in 3 units of Sanguinary Guard, because that's what people are doing. But I do have, like, quite a bit of shenanigans. And I do have some durability, which I really felt like the last list that I played, I felt like I couldn't... Anything I moved on to an objective in the early game, especially on maps where there's 3 objectives, and they're all in the open, and you're playing against Tau, so they're basically gonna... They're gonna +1 to hit you, and they're gonna give you no cover, and they're just gonna shoot you off the objective. And Space Marines really lack invuln saves. I've seen Impulsors make a buttload of 5-up invuln saves. That's helped me in tournaments. I played against Tau, where they're using the Tarnar, which has like a damage 16 gun with devastating wounds. And I made the 5-up invuln on the Impulsor and was just like, haha. You just shot me with an 800 point model and did nothing. And nothing else in the Space Marine army would have survived from the Tarnar, but the Impulsor did. So this is a bit crazy, but that's what I'm playing next. By the time you're watching this video, it will have been live on last week's battle report against Ultramarines, so you can check it out. Thanks so much for watching to the end. I'll probably have to iterate on this before we go to my next tournament, but I've got time. So every week I will evaluate each unit, I'll figure out what I'm dropping, and I will try and refine this over the next few months. Guys, enjoy your week. Thanks so much for watching. Peace. Good night.